Yesterday, we reported that New York will be losing one congressional seat and thus one electoral vote due to the outcome of the latest census. This now sets up redistricting, the process of redrawing congressional district maps. As Dave McKinley reports, it's likely to be another battle fraught with politics and winners and losers.
First, the state legislature appoints an independent commission with an equal number of Republicans and Democrats to draw new district maps in time for the congressional midterm primary elections next year. The thing is, they can deadlock like they did a decade ago, and the state legislature can just overrule them anyway and come up with its own maps. As the legislature is controlled entirely by Democrats, it's likely they'll try and draw lines to eliminate a district held by a Republican. And as most of those are upstate, odds are it will occur there. Dave Wasserman, U.S. editor of the Cook Political Report and an NBC News contributor who goes by the handle @Redistrict on Twitter, is already out with a map of a scenario based on his sources where two Western New York districts, largely Republican, are merged to eliminate one of them, while gerrymandering other lines to create safer districts for Democrats, where the vote is more split, noting these moves could reduce the number of Republican Congress members in New York State from 8 to just 3. But to pinpoint this right now is rather speculative. After all, the Census Bureau won't release block-by-block data until late September, and you can't make maps without that. The only thing we know is that the state should have one less member in the House of Representatives.
Well, it's all about delegation clout.
Former Western New York Congressman Tom Reynolds is now a senior policy advisor at Holland and Knight Law in Washington.
And so the impact of a delegation, of the New York delegation in particular, will be less just because there's one less voice.
Then again, New York will still have more members of Congress than 46 other states. It could also be argued that more than the number, it's the influence they hold that matters most. And New York's delegation has some of the most prominent pals in Washington, not the least of whom is Chuck Schumer, the most powerful member of the Senate as majority leader and the first New Yorker to ever hold that post. Dave McKinley, Channel 2 News.